Whoa, hey, look, it's me. It's Kyle Starks, 3-time Eisner nominated comic creator, and you're on Splash Pages. What fun. Wow.
Is the one obvious thing.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. You are watching Splash Pages. My name's Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. And we have an amazing show scheduled for you as always. And with us, we have Carrie. How's it going?
Hey, it's going great. I'm glad to see you finally got out of the box again. That was worrisome last week. You got to quit falling in there.
I know, it's difficult.
It's crazy. So yeah, I'm hanging out. I guess I said I'm going great. I'm excited about tonight. Health-wise, you're going to see me drinking squirt because I have a bit of tummy thing going on. But Ratatosker's making up for it by drinking 99 espresso. So 99 proof booze. We're going to have a drunken squirrel tonight. But we're also going to have a great show. And we have an amazing co-host that came to join us tonight. One of my favorite people. Let's see what's going on with Mr. Steve Van Sampson.
Woohoo! Hey, Steve.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on. It's fun. And Leo, I'm also glad that you're out of the box, but what people might not know is that you're in the bag.
Damn.
Wah, wah. So it's going to be a fun night. Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mr. Drew.
Mr. Van Sampson, welcome back and well played. So that was nicely done. And Tom Dog, what's up, man? Hey, everybody. It's Tuesday. You had nowhere else to be, and we're glad you decided to do this instead of, I don't know, whatever's on Amazon. But we're here. It's Tuesday, and we're very excited because we have a great guest. Somebody that Carrie turned me on to. His work is absolutely unparalleledly ridiculous, hilarious, and unique all at the same time. We got to talk with him a bit at Terrificon. One of our own got to even run a panel with him, so that I know about that quick, sharp wit. He's a great writer, great human being, a fan of all genres, especially action and horror. Everybody, please welcome the one, the only, the bearded and wonderful Mr. Kyle Starks.
Ooh.
Yay!
Hey, we're doing it, guys. Here we are.
Hey,
Here we are.
We made it.
we did. Well, so Kyle, it's great to see you again, and I just want to say again, it was so great getting to meet you last year at Terrificon. Thank you so much for taking the time to do an interview with us, and then our co-host Jar Jar Jeremy helped with your panel, and that was just, oh my god, that was so funny. Just being in the crowd recording that was amazing. So literally, I was explaining to someone that you had to be there, and that's why we recorded it. So
Yeah.
sharing the wealth. So
they didn't have to be there. It turns out.
Indeed,
You all can be there.
We
If
facilitated.
you go to Splash Pages
We
on
Yeah,
YouTube.
I think it's up right somewhere.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
can see
somewhere.
that panel. We talk about the Rick and the Mortys with the Rick and Morty people of Connecticut.
Indeed.
I think I'm the only person on this planet who has never had any encounters
You're not the
with
only
Rick
one.
and Morty.
No.
I feel like everybody's just like, how can you not? I'm like, I've been busy. I have horror things to do.
It's got some horror
I'm
stuff
a
in it.
bad geek.
No,
I've
I
heard
think Rick and
nothing
Morty
but
is-
amazing things. But
I think Rick and Morty is one of the few things, especially those first couple seasons, that legitimately lives up to the hype over the last 10 years. It's something that was as good. It was beloved and it deserved it. I'd say My Hero Academia is right there too. It's two things that were wildly popular that completely deserved it. So you don't have
Andrew
to.
just left. Like,
I
you
mean-
didn't.
You don't need to.
No,
witness-
no, I
you
heard
don't
all
need to
that.
witness joy.
I had to. I was so excited because especially I heard My Hero. I was like, yes, I agree. I lives up to the hype. Sorry, I just had to get support for my back. Some cushion, and I'm not going to say it anymore. But no, Rick and Morty, absolutely. I mean, you wrote so much Rick and Morty. I think, are you like one of the longest tenured
I'm
writers
the
of Rick and
longest
Morty?
tenured. It can't be close. I did it for 5 years. The only person who's worked on it longer than me is Mark Ellerby, who was my series artist from 35 to 60 and was doing backups before then. He was doing the little 4-page B stories in the back. But he's the only person who has more time in that book than I do. And it'll be a long time. There's probably a couple of people who are maybe close, but I did 48 issues.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
I mean, you wrote a lot, and you contributed a lot to it. I mean, I think, and we talked about this in the interview we did with you. I think like the Rick Illuminati, right? Was that
Sure.
you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Doofus Jerry. I think Doofus Jerry has legs now on Tumblr. They like Doofus Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
did stuff.
You did. Have you seen did anybody ever cosplay as something you did at a con you were at?
Nothing I've ever done. No one's ever cosplayed as anything I've ever done that I saw.
boy.
Mhm. I don't want to say that all of them would be relatively easy, but all of them would be relatively easy. That's what it's so great to get to do, like Peacemaker, and I get to see Peacemakers, and I go, "Oh, I'm his stepdad," and they go, "Nah." As all cosplayers do when you go, "I did that." Big deal, who gives a shit? And now I get to do that with Lobo. That's very exciting. As I can see a Lobo, I'm like, "I'm his stepdad," and they're like, "We don't care." I'm like, okay. So no sex. I mean, nothing ever. And I'm not complaining very loudly about this, hoping I'm manifesting it somehow in any way. I would never do that. I would never try to manifest something. But yeah, it's never happened. I always one day it will happen. And I'll tell you, I remember doing the first show. This is a tangent. The first convention I ever did was HeroesCon in Charlotte, and I sat next to Erica Henderson. Erica Henderson was selling prints, and I was selling a self-published book. And we became friends in our careers, So when I got Sexcastle, she got Squirrel Girl. Obviously, hers did better than mine.
Right.
But I was at a show. We were in Memphis, Tennessee, at a show together, and it was the first time she saw a Squirrel Girl cosplay. So, which was like 3 shows in. You know what I mean? Like it was like almost immediate. And she was so excited. I was like, man, I bet that feels great. I can't wait to have that feeling.
Well, if you're on Lobo, you're gonna
He's
probably
not
be seeing
mine.
some Lobos.
He's not mine.
You know what? Kyle, I'm manifesting it for you, man. I look forward to seeing on one of your multiple social media accounts that you're like, yes, this happened. I manifested, and again, like I said, I would love if it was some character from Where Monsters Lie.
Yeah, who would it be?
Oh my!
Professor Puzzleman.
Yeah,
I mean, I like the what's it? Like Daryl Daniels, what was his name? The Michael
Dawson.
Myers.
Daniel Dawson.
Daniel Dawson, yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel Dawson.
That's
That's who I want to see.
Like
You just got to be about 7'5". That's the only way to.
Yeah, you gotta be
Orange
huge.
I'm here for it.
Or you can just prop me up.
I would love to see a Marmot cosplay
Right?
Definitely
I
wanted
don't
to see
think
some.
I don't know if he's gonna be popular enough. We'll see.
It's funny because when I was rereading everything, prior to the show, I just realized that, like, the whole thing is amazing. Like, as a horror fan, and again, apologies to Leo for just absolutely traumatizing you while we forced you to read this. I felt like that person who forced an AI to watch tons of horror movies and then write a script. So sorry, Leo.
Okay.
But
You shouldn't like compare yourself to AI. That's just not nice to yourself. You should care more about yourself than that.
I know. I need to
nice.
work. I would work on it, but that's why I'm drinking, to push those feelings down. But yeah. So, but Kyle. So the moment I loved, especially, is, I think it was Carrie. Remind me, the guy with the teddy bear on his head. I'm blanking on the name. Like. Yeah, there you go, Buckmaster. Yeah, Buckmaster. It's in the sequel, Cul-De-Sac. It's when he hands his friend the hook because he's lost the hand, and it's like, me, I was like, that's friendship goals. Mm-hmm. When you murder an entire group of cannibalistic killers, and you just here for your hand hook. I was like,
yeah.
And to me, I was like, God damn it, that's just friendship goals.
Yeah, we love it. Well, Linus gave him a plant, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that.
Friends.
I loved that.
Like, they might be murderers, but they're my people.
So, for those who haven't read the series, can we just encapsulate it? Can you tell us a little bit about what this crazy series that you wrote, Kyle, is?
Where Monsters Lie is from Dark Horse. It's about a gated community for slasher monsters. It's basically where slasher monsters movies go between movies, so to speak. So, I was like, where is Jason between those movies? Is he just standing in it was really fascinating to me to try to figure out, like, Chucky he's watching cable somehow, somewhere. He's getting a hotel. Who's paying for the hotel? Where's the money coming from?
Right.
If Chucky's girlfriend wants chicken fingers, how does she get them? I had all these questions. In Saw, I don't think that guy built any of that stuff. You never see a blueprint. He's not digging the syringe pit. Anyway, I became very fixated on this idea, and that's where Monsters Lie came from, which is the idea is that there's sort of a gated community for them all to go to, and they have handlers to sort of help them prepare. Someone's building the thing that makes your jaw pop open if you can't fit in your birthday in enough time, or whatever the trick was. And so I really like that, but of course, a story is not a location, and a story isn't. I mean, something has to happen. So basically, monster Batman, like if Batman's parents were killed by monsters instead of a criminal, finds them, which is Special Agent Connor Hayes, who's sort of our main character. In the first one, it's about when he finds them. In the second one, it's about what happens after what happened at that gated community, and they find another gated community. Apparently, there's a bunch of these gated communities, and it's what happens there. We love it. I love Where Monsters Lie. I'm very proud of it.
Oh yeah.
It was really great. It was really, really fun.
Really good.
Main character Connor, I have to say, he's really committed to his haircut.
That haircut, by the way, is 100% Peter Kowalski. I did not write. Well, I might have wrote, let's make him interesting looking somehow. And he's like, what if I just gave him an orange mohawk? Which is great. And also at one point he draws him as a child. Is that in volume? I don't know.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He has had that orange mohawk. I mean, that's like, there's some maintenance. There's some serious, there's probably years worth of accumulated maintenance that is
Frank the Clown. We love him.
Accrued.
Peter Kowalski did a couple of things that were not, like, I'm pretty type A, but he would add little things in the room where they meet. Like the curtains are the wallpaper, like the skull. I did, like, that's all him. Little stuff like that. It's like he adds a lot of this stuff in. But yeah, giving him this like crazy haircut and then giving him as a child is the funniest thing. Peter's great. Peter's like the most professional comic creator to work with. I love him so much.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so funny because I feel like your book was the first time I've seen him, and then I feel like I'm seeing him everywhere. Like, he did a book with Steve Niles. He's working with Colin Bunn. He's now working on, I think, the Mikey Way. He's doing Christmas 365. So it's like I see this and I'm like, what are you doing? Why aren't you working on like volume 3 of Where Monsters Lie? Like, this is like, come on.
Dude,
like,
he's the busiest guy. It always seems like he's doing like 3 books at once. You're like, how? But he's a pro. We love him. We love Peter.
Yeah.
We're doing another book that this year. Like, I'm already done writing it. He's got a draw that's coming from Dark Horse later this year.
Well, and it was so cool at Terrificon because as I remember we talking, I was like, oh my god, this is so like we love Where Monsters Lie. Like, I'm really hoping for a sequel. Like, oh yeah, we'll see. And then later on, they were like, oh yeah, Cul-De-Sac's coming out. I was like, that tricky devil. He knew.
No, I can't say anything.
No, I know, but I was just so fucking happy about it. And it's actually funny because you were mentioning that Colin is essentially Batman, the Secret Engineers, and one of our audience was basically saying that they had a similar conversation about Batman and the Secret Engineers for Batman for all the tech, but nobody's like, well, where does this come from? Like, they're just like, no, it's Batman. We don't get it.
Yeah. I like the way the character Puzzleman, not Puzzle Man, but Puzzleman.
That's right.
Puzzleman. I like the way he's like a visually he looks like Art the Clown, but he's really Jigsaw. Like he's like a great like combination of the two. So was that look described? Was that you, or was that all the artists that came up with that?
So I believe all the characters except for Puzzleman I designed. I could be wrong. I don't think Frankie Rubberdick I designed. I think it's in the back of the trade paperback too. It has my sketches for the characters, the ones that I designed, and that was the only character, Professor Puzzleman, who I think is the coolest. That's not me being hyperbolic because you said it. Like, I think he's one of the coolest designed characters. Like, he's so awesome. And the original one was just like this bald guy with an eye patch, and I was like, Peter, no, like let's try this thing, and it was not what I said, but he drew something. It's like, no, that's it. It's perfect. Fuckmaster I designed. But a lot of that's because Peter's so smart. He's such a pro, and he knows that I'm a cartoonist. So like, I'm visually seeing all these things. So he was like, if you have any design for these characters, send them over, which is super smart if you just want to draw a book, if you just want to get a book drawn. And Peter's more than that, but he just wants to get going. So yeah, he used almost all my designs. In volume 2, they go to site C, which is where all the sort of hillbilly cannibal characters are. And I was like, oh, here's like, look at these movies if you want to know, but The Hills Have Eyes, et cetera, for background characters. And he was like, can you just like send me drawings? So in the back of what will be that trade for volume 2, you'll see my drawings of all of those hillbilly characters. And he just redrew them in a better style, which I think is hilarious. Frank the Clown, I think, was just like, draw a clown. You know what I mean? Like, that's an easy one. Yeah, I love Professor Puzzleman, but that's all Peter. Like, such a good character design for Peter.
That's really really fun. And I like the way that you get the sense of because it's 4 issues and then the sequel's another 4 issues, and like you said, it's 2 different locations and 2 different casts of characters. So like, you really get the sense of the world, and this must have been a fun sandbox for you, because clearly you're a fan of this stuff. Must be a slasher fan, because there are like for those of us who aren't Leo and love horror, we're probably like, all of us are like geeking out as much as I was reading this, where every single character feels like, oh, this is this guy, and sometimes you're not sure at first, and sometimes it's not exact one-to-one. One of the ones I really liked that you did, that I don't know, I didn't feel like it was an exact analog to anything that existed, but I think her name was Pearl, and she has the Archie. Is Archie the doll?
Yeah,
Frankie Rubberdick.
Oh, that's Frankie Rubberdick. Okay. So like, the girl and the doll, and it was so great because up till the point where she tells a little bit of backstory, you just think it's a crazy lady with a puppet. You're like, oh, this is Scarface from Batman or something like that.
Okay.
And then you like 100% threw us for a loop and flipped it. And it's really great because you feel like she's got Stockholm syndrome big time. And it's almost like you have, I don't know if this was what I was just kind of wondering, but to me, it almost felt like, okay, there's lots of evil dolls for sure, but it felt like, okay, there's Scarface from Batman, and then it's Harley and Joker almost.
For Frank, I mean, to me, it's Chucky, and Chucky's, I can't remember her name. That's
Tiffany.
To me. Yeah, Tiffany. But I think there's, I mean, almost there's so many. There's always someone who has like a Victoria's doll or Annabelle. You know what I mean? Like
so many
haunted little marionette thing. But yeah, like I mean, I like archetypes a lot. I think there's good shorthand to get readers to care about characters or to sort of know.
Absolutely.
So like, I mean, one Daniel Dawson is a shape, which is to me such a broad. It covers such a broad territory. And then, Murder Cousin. I can't remember his name. Isn't that bad? Jesus Christ. Murder Cousin.
that was his name. The Jason. Yeah, right. The bag head.
But he's he's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? He's like Leatherface. And so when they go to fight, like I hope that typical sort of shorthand exists because you're like, oh my god, like Jason's about to fight Leatherface, even though it's not those guys. It's just we as storytellers use archetypes so much, especially horror. It's just a familiarity. Evil clown. There's a million evil clowns. There's a million variations. Right. I'm not doing any one of those. I'm just simply saying, in this world of slasher monsters, of course there's an evil clown. Of course there's a shape. Of course there's a haunted doll. Of course there's some sort of scientific hybrid of failure between science and some creature. There's a giant dog, as they see him as of course there's all those things, and Professor Belzman, who's sort of a jigsaw or a collector. There's a ton of those guys. It's just really dealing in archetypes, and when we were like we're gonna do the second one, it was at one point I had this very sort of grandiose idea for this sort of how the universe would expand and this giant, and I was like, no, it's a sequel. It should just be the same thing but slightly worse. But when you do that, you go, well, who do I need to make sure I definitely do? So like Volume 2 has Vilmos, who's the Dream Master, and that to me feels like a clear. Like if you're like, why aren't all of them here? It's like, well, not all of them are good. Like not all of them serve the story. But even that's not like, I mean, there's a million characters like that too. But so it's like, I'm not saying like I made a book where it's like, oh, here's all my favorite slasher monsters. It's what are the archetypes that I can sort of draw on, and there's exceptions. Like this weird guy is Mr. Wrinkly right here, right? Like he's not anything. He's just, I thought, what's a creepy, weirdo, hateful pervert? Fuckmaster? That's not anybody. That's just, I thought that would be an interesting name. And what's scarier than a monster named Fuckmaster? Like, what's he going to do when he gets you? It's gross and upsetting. Mr. Wrinkly's gross and upsetting. There's a murderous child. It's just, I like the archetypes a lot. I think they're very good for, especially because I get so little space anymore. I mean, 4 issues, you have to kind of get in and get out. You don't have time to set up something very large. So archetypes are great. I love them. And for slasher monsters and the horror genre, and this particular, which is me writing a love letter to those characters, like it's best to play off the. This guy is Wyatt, who sort of is the retired. He's like the groundskeeper for the gated community. Is sort of like the strangers. You know what I mean? Like they're like home invader type characters, and it's murder family.
Right.
So everything's sort of like, it's like there's only a couple that are probably not in some way inspired by something, but my hope is that you go, oh, that's one of 4 or 5 things combined, and it's none of them. Like it's none of it. It's familiar, but it's different, and I really, that's something I try to lean on a lot for my stories.
And that's another thing that I really enjoyed. Like I was pitching this to a friend of mine who was like, oh, I've read comics, and I was like, oh, you would really love, and I basically pitched this, and I was like, it touches, because she's a horror fan similar to us. No offense, Leo. But cool. He's still cool. He just doesn't do horror. Right. We put him through this all the time. Basically, is that your book was an homage, but it still was its own thing. And I basically says like, I was like, did you enjoy Cabin in the Woods? You said yes. This is like the really cool cousin of Cabin in the Woods, where
I agree.
You see the archetypes, you see the homage, but they're still their own entity. They're still their own thing, and you can enjoy it. Like one of the things I loved is that you expanded this world, but you're following horror rules. So it would be so easy, because you showed another site on top of the one that you already showed, and we just saw them, and then suddenly they're gone. And I was like, yeah, because they can do that. These people are fucking crazy. So they could just be like, we're going to kill these bitches, and they're all dead. And sometimes like, oh, but I was like, no, like that's a horror movie. Like things like that happen, and you got to just roll with the unpredictability of these psychopaths. And I was like, dude, it again, you do so much in 4 issues, man. And it never feels like, we could have used one more issue. I was like, no, this is tight, concise, and entertaining as fuck. So just
it's
kudos.
all those things, and it's also really friggin' impressive too. You know, you're talking about, you know, it's only 4 issues. You got to get in, you got to get out. Yeah, but you chose to create a huge cast of characters for the first arc, and then again the second arc, and then in issue 2 of the second arc, which is 5 or 6 overall, you created a whole new cast of characters, which are the hillbilly mutant hillbillies you were talking about. I mean, like the Hills Have Eyes people. Like it's awesome. So yeah, that's an impressive thing, you know. I mean, to be able to juggle, you know, a humongous cast, you know, you got to kind of give everybody like just a moment or two to shine, and to have a lot of them be really memorable is tough. And I think you definitely pulled it off. And like you said, using familiar archetypes is a shorthand that gets people to care a little faster. And I definitely think that's true. And I had such fun dissecting who was who, and like you said, you were combining characters. Like so the Skullface guy, we have Daniel Dawson. So to me, I felt like he was, because you said, okay, I love how you say that the big hulking silent killers, I always call them the mute brutes. They're the Jasons, they're the Leatherfaces, they're the, you know, the Michael Myers. And I felt like Daniel Dawson was like Jason, or Michael Myers meets like Victor Crowley or something, because he's got the hair. And then you have Baghead Jason combined with Leatherface, because he's got the chainsaw. And that's this great battle that we're looking at right here with Puzzleman. I mean, I'm thinking Daniel Dawson is the man. I like my favorite panel is the final panel of him in issue 7. The final shot where they're resurrecting him and you see his face. Oh my God, it's such an amazing piece of art. It's so detailed, so great.
Yeah, Peter's good. Peter's great.
Yeah,
thanks. We love that.
And it's so funny, because I also see like that. Like I'm reading this and I'm like, oh my God, because Colin is essentially if Tommy Jarvis from Friday the 13th franchise was Batman. That's basically what it is. And I was just like that just dawned on me, and my brain just like cracked a second. I'm like, oh shit. Like I'm just like annoyed I didn't realize it earlier. Yeah, Pyle, you know, a good chainsaw, man. You just got to make sure you put gasoline, because then that's just a dull blade.
Yeah.
Tyler owns a haunted house, so
it's true.
Nothing beats a good axe.
God damn it, Leo! No. You know,
and I just want to butt in here for a second. I know there's a lot of jokes with me not liking horror and stuff like that, but I did thoroughly enjoy these. I had to stop it a couple times. So I have a tiny bit of PTSD that fucks me up every now and then, but it's it was a great read. And like when I was a kid, I used to love, you know, Friday the 13th, and you know, I loved horror when I was a kid. I just, you know, I have issues now as like a elderly gentleman.
Man, that's funny. I was the opposite. I hated them when I was little. They scared with me. And as I was a grown-ass man, I sort of got introduced by Benito Serrano, who does a lot of the backup essays. He wrote the essays for I Hate This Place and for Rock Candy Mountain, and sort of a horror connoisseur. And I don't know why I was like, I'm going to try it. And he used to make this list. He still does it. He makes a list which is like the best streaming horror movies. And at the time, it was just Netflix when he started. So it's just like, I've never heard of The Innkeepers. I've never even heard of these movies. And so I watched the ones I'd never heard of. And
Innkeepers is so good.
Innkeepers was definitely, I'd have to think about some of the other ones. Innkeepers one, I was like, why is this so good? No one ever talks about it. Well, horror fans do, but, you know, at the time, like greater sort of film fandom wasn't aware of any of these things. And that's how I got into horror, because I was like, oh, it's not just Hellraiser and, you know, Freddy, and I love Freddy, but when I was little, I was like, they're scary. You know what I mean? Like, they're scary to me. I don't want to watch them. And now I was like, they're not scary anymore. There's something else. And I think a lot of it for me, Leo, as I speak to you specifically, is that, and why I like slasher movies, is that I grew up on comic books. Like, I'm a superhero guy, and slashers are very much just superhero stories. It's good versus evil. Always someone has a power, a mask, a gimmick, and that's what it is. It's like I love that sort of it's
Holy shit.
It's the superhero stuff. So I love slashers because of that, and I kind of always will favor slashers. Also, they're a little silly. Like they take themselves a little bit less seriously than everything else. Like I love a good fright, man. Like Exorcist. Like listen, we can watch Exorcist and have a great time. But man, I love a dumb slasher so much, and I think it's because of how much I grew up loving superheroes, because it's really sort of the same thing, except for when Superman punches you in this world, your head flies off. That's the biggest difference.
Wow. Holy shit. That makes so much
Peter
sense.
Kowalski, Pile Hazard. He's very good. Peter Kowalski. We love him.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely, Pile. You gotta check him out. That was very well said. I completely have never thought of horror like that, but I'm like, this makes so much sense because it's the same rules.
Yeah.
So God damn, that's genius. Well done. Well done, Professor Starks.
All right, well,
That's
look at me go,
guys. If you guys want to read I Hate This Place, it's fabulous. It's kind of a haunted house type of thing, meets UFOs, meets weird ghost stuff, meets time travel, meets tech, meets everything. And between you just said his name and I didn't write it down, but the essays that are written at the end of each issue, like he's saying, it analyzes kind of like what the issue was about, how it relates to horror and movies and things like that, and does have lists. So I have a whole new list of movies like, well, I know what I'm watching for the next year.
Oh God.
Yeah, I Hate This Place. Eisner nominated, by the way. Eisner nominated, Glad nominated. We're just bragging here.
Fucking fabulous.
It has a lot of sort of the same. It does the same thing where it's like me dealing with a lot of archetypes. It's me doing genres though more than characters, and that like now I'm doing a slasher, now I'm doing zombies, now I'm doing haunted house, now I'm doing UFOs. So in the same way, like the thing is, it's maybe less today than I felt because I Hate This Place over the pandemic. Is that you go, well, this might be the only horror book I do, so I better do all the things that I want to do, which is what I Hate This Place was. And after I Hate This Place, I was like, well, I did all the horror things I want to do, and I saw, I want to say, Fear Street, and there's a bit in the second Fear Street where it's like, oh, like every 10 years there's a different slasher monster in this town, or I don't remember exactly what the bit was, and little things like that make you go, oh, what if, you know what I mean? It's always like, what if? And then it's like, well, why are they there? And you go, well, who's building the traps for Sawman? For Dr. Saw, who's building his traps? But yeah, so anyway, you never know what's going to happen, but then it's like, oh, I'm going to do Where Monsters Lie, and of course I've done a lot of horror. I don't remember what else I've done. Other things, who's to say?
Other good things.
Well, I mean, speaking of,
Show. I did a Creep Show.
Yeah,
I've done a bunch of horror.
You did the Creep Show comic. That's
right. But speaking of, I mean, you just released the first issue of your latest book, Those Not Afraid, which was awesome.
Thank you.
And this, I mean, what a strong start. And I have to say, I've never thought that, because I feel like movies have done this where kind of serial killers are, whether they realize they're not competing for kills, but just them having that conversation, I was like, like you said, you don't see that, but I was like, dude, just it's one of those like, God, I wish I thought of that. Like, that was just great.
Those Not Afraid is about two serial killers finding out that they're within reach of the state record for murders and decide to enter into a competition to break it first. I'm doing the thing now. And they do meet. Once again, what if I don't do another one? This is my love letter to serial killers, which, by the way, is a weird thing to say out loud. I don't, I guess, mean it that way.
You don't endorse serial killing
necessarily.
I don't like it.
It really upsets me, but I think I find it interesting. I find true crime stuff interesting. And so that's what this is. You find the hook. What's the story? And then who are the characters and what happens that makes it interesting? I really like this concept. Patrick Piazzalunga, who's the artist, has a very unique and dynamic sort of style that I think brings a lot to it. And it's fun to say. It's a world full of serial killers. There's, I think, 4 through the course of the book. Good times, man. The critical reviews were great for number 1. In stores now. Guys, you got to buy them so that I can make more of them. Please buy them. We would love to do it. Those Not Afraid too.
This was definitely a great read, and definitely the scariest phrase I've read, murder race. I mean, like it's gonna be crazy.
Dark.
And this is a good time for this to come out. I think serial killers are going to be, popular, as they would say, this year. We're getting 2 Dexter series this year alone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching one of them right now. It's actually pretty good.
I haven't seen any of the Dexters. Are they worth watching?
Yeah, it's a serial. If you don't know,
the gist. I didn't have Showtime.
The first season was pretty good. It kind of got pretty bad the last 2 seasons, but like the first 3 or 4 were good. They tried doing like a second season, which was kind of shitty. They're doing a
reboot. They did a reboot, right? No.
They did like one later season. They did like season 7, 10, 15 years later.
I got
something.
I got it.
Yep. They got a prequel running right now, which is pretty good. How
you guys said Leo did like horror stuff, but he's watching the murder show.
That's thriller. That's different.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you, serial killers are objectively scarier than Professor Puzzleman and his dick trap.
Oh God. Oh my God.
I don't even got to think about it. Don't even got to think about it.
Yeah, literally.
Left hand.
I'm not gonna lie. I that panel shut up. I was like, let's play a game. I'm like, no, we're not playing this game. Whatever. Like, what the kid chose, I'm like, yeah, that's the better choice. Like,
and it was his dominant hand too.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
And no hesitation.
0.1 seconds worth of decision making.
Yeah, like it had, like again, like you said, the realism. Like some people are like, nope, not doing it. Like, some people are like, oh, it's like, well, that's anticlimactic. I'm like, yeah, what, like, come on.
He's like, you chose too fast. No, wait.
Yeah, where's the fun?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, we want to have fun. You sit in the chair now. We'll play that game.
And just clarification, it's mostly the gore that I can't take. It's
I got you.
Like
psychological stuff. Ghosts. That kind of stuff is fine.
Yeah, no, and it's so funny because kind of like he tells us stories from his childhood, and it literally feels like he had his own horror training, and we're just like, God fucking damn it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah, no. That's all I'm going to say, Leo. No, you already tried with an X. Shut up. Okay, but I'm going to switch gears just for a minute to maybe something Leo I'm fairly sure we enjoyed. I know Carrie did. Pine and Merrimack.
Oh.
Like, again, I think that Carrie, is that like that and Where Monsters Lie, we're like, oh my God, you need to read these. And I was like, yeah, they're fantastic. Again, a romantic couple with slight horror tinges, but I have never looked at somebody smearing something on a window the same as I did in Pine Merrimack. I was like, oh God, this woman. I was like, wow. But this was so good, man. And then not only that, but your artist that you work with, Fran Gallant. Fran Gallant, she was fantastic.
He.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. Yeah, he was fantastic. Everything was good. So how did that come up?
Well, Fran drew my Creepshow story, and he did an unbelievable job. He did some cartoonist. He made some choices in that book that were so next level. I was blown away because I wrote the script long before there was an artist for that. And I was certain whichever artist they had were going to mess up one sequence, which they did not because it's Fran. Fran said to the editor on Creepshow, I'd like to do a book with me. And I'm like, me, Kyle? And he's like, yeah. And he said, I don't want to do comedy or horror. And I was like, oh, like that's all I do, man. What do you?
Right.
What are we gonna do? And we actually worked up a pitch. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I was like, you know what? I think he's like, there's one sequence in Creepshow that's so good that I think any cartoonist would go, like, what a choice! Like, what a choice! And so for me, I was like, I would love to. So I actually worked up a pitch, which kind of hasn't worked out, which is fine. But while we were waiting for that pitch, he was like, hey, I'm looking for something to do. And I'm like, the only thing I have right now is I've got this kind of a horror thing. And he said, well, send me the pitch. I sent him the pitch. And he's like, I love it. I'll do it. And I'm like, perfect. I adore him. I've been so lucky in my career. Again, not hyperbole. Literally just lucky that I've worked with such great artists. They're all good in different ways. Fran might be the best one, and that's tough to say because I love all of them so much. But he really makes choices that there's a character intro thing at the beginning, which we've gone a couple of times. I wrote that as a 6-page grid. He turned it into like this floating montage, and it's like it's beautiful. It's brilliant. I love his art. The way the two characters, Lenny and Parker, who are a married couple who are running a cozy detective agency, basically the way they look at each other, like the emoting that he gets. I've not worked with that artist who can do that. Who's able to do the acting like that, the choreography like that. I love him. I would work with him every year. It'd be an honor to do a book every year with him. I joke all the time. I joke before the show to these guys, but if he could be Sean Phillips, my Ed Brubaker, and we did a book a year, I think I'd be okay with that because he's really good. He's really, really good. I love this book. This is one of my favorite books. I love them all like children, and I've been very lucky to not have to do anything I didn't want to do. So I think they're all very high quality. I love Pine Mac. I think it's unique. I think it's fun. I think Lenny and Parker are super charming, and I think they're great to spend time with. And I love it. I love Pine Mac. The trade is in stores now. I hard recommend nice. Pine Mac. I really like it. If you have someone who likes mystery and someone who likes horror, I think it's a great pick. But I think like if you're just looking for something different with likable characters, I think it's a lot of fun. I think the side characters are fun. I think the escalation is a ton of fun. I love it. Oh, that's a Fran Galland corpse right there. That is messed up.
Yep.
He's so good. He's so good.
The color palette choices that he chooses too, a lot, like when you have the golds and the green, the golden browns and then the greens and blues.
I was just gonna ask,
So all the colors I worked with, my best friend Chris Schweizer has colored Old Head, Rock Candy Mountain, Karate Prom, and is a great cartoonist on his own. He does the same thing Fran does, where color doesn't set a mood, but it shows scene changes also. Everything Fran, and like for me, like Schweitzer is the best colorist I've worked with. For me, for my own work, he's also the only one. So that's kind of a big lie. But the way that he changes scenes, and even he'll go issue to issue, and Fran does the same thing, and no one else does that. That for my work they have it, but for me, I think it adds to the emotions of the scene. It shows clear delineation between scenes changing, which I think is really important. It shows clear delineation between locations. But he sets an emotional, like, look at this, like these dark, awful. This is a furry orgy, by the way. Spoilers.
Oh my God.
I couldn't wait to write a furry orgy into something. But
ever since I was 12, I wanted to.
So, in this one, is this issue 2? Do we know offhand? This is issue
3.
3.
3.
So I'm trying to remember it. So the furry orgy's in it twice. And the first time, I think at the beginning of issue 4, maybe there's a furry orgy again. I can't remember. But the first time you see it, the furry orgy, they were like, don't let Fran get, like, he can't show a bunch of stuff. And we're like, okay. And so like, Fran, you got to be real careful not to show a bunch of stuff. And he is. And then the next time, like, I think there's like clear butts and maybe a ding dong. Like the second time it shows up, like they did not have the same notes. And it was just like, I didn't say anything. I was like, because I like it.
You're into it.
Yeah, well, I was into Fran doing it. You gotta let these boys have to have fun where they can find it, you know. Of course. He did the great characters. I think Schweitzer maybe did these masks first because he had to do a variant cover before, and Fran sort of took it and ran with it. But these like gnome hats, these guys are evil, like so evil. But I think it's so funny they wear these gnome hats. They're the scariest gnome hats.
Terrifying.
Yeah, it was. Oh my God, it was just so much fun reading this because, like you said, like there was so much about it, but I really liked it because sometimes you read some books and it's like, oh, this is just one genre. There was a little something for everybody. There was a little mystery, there was a little romance, there was a little, very horror,
a little action,
some action.
Fighter. I think the best things have a little bit of everything in them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it was They just
what was that?
They're the greatest couple. They love each other and they do fun, silly things for each other. And
after I did, Harry, because you obviously like I Hate This Place. When I finished I Hate This Place, like I was literally like, I'm not done with couples who love each other. I think the representation for happy, loving people is far too slim in society. Like there's no reason not to celebrate people loving each other and being willing to do whatever for each other. So after I Hate This Place, which is what Gabby and Trudy are very much in that. They're very much in love and they love being together, and nothing's going to hurt that. To do it again with different effect. Hold on, let's see, is this it? I can't remember.
Oh my god.
Guys, you have to get the Find a Mirror trade, and I guess pay very close attention to the sequencing of the furry orgy.
Let's say things. I'll take things I never thought I'd hear on this show for 200, Alex. Thank you. You know,
had to have a whole continuity guy we hired for that orgy just to make sure everybody's bits were in the right places. Wait, look at panel 7 again. Is that where it's supposed to be? Wait, where's that dew claw? Where's that dew claw?
There's a lot of comics about how for the first time they will be very concerned, and then after that they're probably not concerned enough. So furry orgy. For sure.
Oh god.
Well, this is I didn't get to read this. This is a gorgeous book, and I'm really getting struck by like what you were saying, Kyle, about the faces and the expressions. It's almost like a Disney level of animation, if anything, level of expression in these characters' faces, which you don't always see in comics. And Carrie, I'm glad you brought up the colors. I was going to ask. So it's a different artist who's the colorist here.
No, it's the same person.
Oh,
right, but it's not the penciler though.
No, it is. Fran Galan does all the art.
He does it all. Oh my god, absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. So I am utterly struck by the color in this book. Like it's so cinematic. There's so many lighting effects. There's such there are scenes in the car where there's glowing because there's light coming from behind the window, and you're right. Everything you said, Kyle. It sets mood. It sets from delineation between scene to scene. These are all like, oh my god, these are things that I miss so much in comics in general, and sometimes. Artists are like, you can be, or even just a colorist. You can be a great colorist. I'm not going to say like this guy isn't good or this lady isn't good, but it's like they aren't setting the right mood or something. It's like it's almost like if the wrong song is played during a movie or something. Like it's like this is sort of cutting the tension instead of playing it up, leaning into it. And I think the colors and the art in this are absolutely gorgeous. My God, just speechless.
Yeah, I love it so much. And I will say, in defense of all comics, it is a production art. You know what I mean? It comes out every month.
Look at this.
Go above and so this. Can we pause this? This is issue 4, which I hate to go through, but I was at a convention, and a guy came up to me and showed me this panel, the bottom left panel, and he opened it. He goes, "Has this emotion ever been captured so well in a comic?" And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, it's good. He's really good. These people love each other. And if you look at issue 1, when you first sort of see them interacting in this office, and Parker is like, he likes to draw. He draws a little silly picture. I drew the picture, by the way, guys. He draws a little silly picture. And he's like, "I got this gift for you," which is sort of an ongoing bit. Like that's one of their little couple bits that they do. But the way that Fran just draws them existing in the same space, and this whole page is about how much they love each other. It's a flashback to before they decide to go back to this little town and sort of take it easy. But yeah, dude, he's so good on every level. And I say comics is a production art. The most important thing is that it comes out every month. The most important thing is that it reaches. So for coloring, the most important thing is that it looks like the thing. Colors for Where Monsters Lie, Vladimir Popov is a perfectly competent colorist. And you know what? He never missed a deadline. And that's literally what is the most important thing. If you were able to take that limited time in any level, pencil, inks, I haven't worked with an inker, so I'll just say it to be polite. Penciler with ink, colors, lettering, and you're able to elevate that at all in the very small amount of time. It's impressive. Like that's going above. That's not expectation. That's going above. And I think that's lost a lot on comic readers is that it's a production art first. It's it's always art, but to be able to elevate it, it's a testament to that particular creator. But it's also like if you gave name whatever sort of middle of the road colorist. I don't want to name names. Whoever you think of is the most middle of the road. If you gave them, those guys usually have like 5 days. They usually have like 5 days to color. What if they had 10 days? What would that guy's work look like if he had 10 days and wasn't doing 3 books at once? You know what I mean? Like there's all these variables. Fran, like I said, Fran could be my Sean Phillips just because of all these things, the choices. He just does so many things, and emoting. Everyone has their strengths creatively. I will work with Peter Kowalski forever. I will say I don't think his characters are great at emoting, but he can draw a scene, he can draw big things, he can draw little things. He nails the assignment every time. He's a 100% hardcore pro, and I will work with that guy every time. He never is a problem. He always goes to work. You know what I mean? I love that.
Right.
Fran, Schweizer, Erica Henderson, to an extent, like they made choices, and there's a lot to be said about that. But also, they only have so many weeks to make these choices. Fran was like killing himself. You know he was. But yeah, he's great. I would say for me, Pine and Merrimack, and I just did a book called Barfly, which is part of Patton Oswalt's Minor Threat universe,
right?
With Ryan Brown. Those 2 books are worth it for the art. Like even if I didn't do, like everyone should check them out just for the art, because the art on both of those books are next level. Pine and Merrimack and Barfly. The Barfly trade is coming out soon, I think.
Nice.
I don't know.
Nice.
Nice.
Great art, unbelievable art. Like they don't even need me. They don't need me. They'd be fine.
Well, and then one thing yeah, no,
Writer's important, man.
Yeah, come on, man.
Very important.
Nothing without the writer.
But I will also say another thing, Kyle, is that I just realized that you something that I've just realized with a lot of your work is that you get that the one thing that will always grab people, besides how dope the cover looks, is the name. And I just was thinking about the name of a lot of your stuff, and like just certain things. I'm like they're like it's got to be enough to hook you in, like Where Monsters Lie, Pine and Merrimack. Like I think the one that I can think of this for second mind is Karate Prom. I'm just like thinking about it, and I'm just like the idea. I'm like, what? How? What? And I just go in and read it. I'm like, this is awesome. Like it's one of those. I'm like, it's one of those ideas that you think about. Like, why didn't anybody think of this before? Like, it's just so.
I like karate. I went to a prom.
Combine both. God, like amazing.
I like sex. I like castles.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Bam. Simple.
Sexcastle.
I feel like I came a long way from Sexcastle to now, but now when I go into it, I think that there are 2 types of successful titles. I think one title says clearly, specifically what the thing is: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Hellboy, Karate Prom, and the other one asks a question, which makes the potential reader go, "Well, hold on, what is this?"
Right, Pine and Merrimack.
My good friend Matt Kent hates Pine and Merrimack because it's neither of those things, and I don't disagree. I think that it's what is the can't think of what the aesthetic version of sound is. I think it sounds good, but also when I did this book, they're a detective agency, and it was under the pretense that we could potentially do more. And the next one would be called Iron Gauntlet, a Pine and Merrimack detective story, which I love, which I adore. I love it in the context of a Pine and Merrimack detective story. But yeah, he hates it because it doesn't ask a question. It doesn't say what it is. What is a Pine? What's a Merrimack? And I think like I address that very early in the book in a way that I think it makes it interesting and clever. That's not me. I'm saying I think I do that. So you go Pine and Merrimack, it's because if someone says who's Pine and who's Merrimack, it's like, well, it's neither. It's the location of their detective agency, and that's what we like to know for clarity. Karate Prom, it says what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It says what it is.
I think it is asking a question, though. That's the question.
What is it?
I think it fits nicely. Yeah.
No,
what does it mean?
I
do think
necessarily
it's
fall into one of those two categories. A third category sounds good.
So
there's
since
music
it
in
was,
that title.
Yeah.
It was kind of left open. Oh, I was going to say it was kind of left open in the end there as to whether there will be more Pine and Merrimack. So you're saying there might be Pine and Merrimack in their universe? There's a potential?
There's always potential for more, but sales decide everything. So
Okay.
Buy the trade, please. Please buy the trade. I made a habit of for the last 2 years of doing these 4-issue miniseries and leaving them open. Sort of, even Those Not Afraid sort of has there's more, because one, Pine and Merrimack does this thing which I like, Where Monsters Lie does, and those when you guys eventually in 4 months read, where you get to the end and you go, oh, I wonder what happens next. I like that. I like to think about where these characters are when I'm finished. Like, oh, I wonder, did they get married? You know what I mean? Like, did they have a baby? I like thinking about the future of these characters and all those books sort of leave it open. Assassination does it. Six Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton does it, where it's like, oh, look, there's enough. Their lives continue, even though this is theoretically the best story of these characters' lives, right? It's this one snapshot. Yeah. This is the best story. They existed before this. They will exist after. So I like that. But also, listen, I like working with Patrick Piazzalinga. I like working with theater. I like the Where Monsters Lie characters. I like Pineapple Mac with Frank Land. Sure, I'd love to do more, but sales decide everything. And that's a completely different, far more depressing podcast about how we only get 4 issues now to do things. And again, you just have to pick the best 4 issues. I think, Steve, I don't know if it's why we were talking about maybe before. It's like 4 issues was pretty much standard today in 2025. It's this kind of the standard. I just got asked to pitch a thing, and I said, how many? They're like, maybe do a miniseries. I was like, how many? They're like 4. I'm like, okay, that's 80 pages. It's not very much. You think standardly trades are 120 pages from what trades have always existed, right? It's like 5 issues. So like 80 pages isn't a lot, but I don't think it's like not enough. It's just this. I think 120 is best. So it's like 2/3 of an optimal story. But also like when you go in knowing it's 4 issues, Pioneer Mark I think it was 5. Does anyone know for sure?
Yeah, 5.
I think it was 5.
Right.
So it changes how much you can do and what you can do. But going in when knowing it's 4 issues, you just go, it's a very small window of these people's lives. So everything has to happen to me the way that I tell stories. And I very much like things to be kind of in real time. I don't like to jump a lot. If I do jump, it's like I feel like, what did you miss? Like what happened in those 5 days that you didn't see? Did Superman just stop fighting Brainiac for 5 days? Like, what happened? What was he doing? It's like, oh, he had to work. You know what I mean? Like, did he? I don't know. So I don't like thinking about that. I like for things to sort of happen in a sequence. And so for 4 days, you're like, oh, 4 issues. You're like, it's a very small window. But it's frustrating because like I would like to be doing 8 issues. I hate this place was supposed to be an ongoing. I got to do 15 issues. When we got to 10, they were like we think you're good for 1 more, and I'm like, I'm not going to gamble. Like I have an ending. They always have an ending. I just want to do my ending so badly. So I guess we're going to stop at 15. Like, could it have been 20? Maybe, but I'd rather do 15 and have the whole story I wanted to tell than risk doing 20. So even with these things, you go, oh, they're open-ended. I don't have a Pioneer Mac 2. I don't know what it would be. I have zero idea. If they made a TV show tomorrow, if they made a movie tomorrow, there'd be Pioneer Mac 2, right? I'd have to figure it out. I'd have to figure it out real fast because suddenly they'd be like, well, we can sell that. And the same for Where Monsters Lie. It's the same for Those Not Afraid. It's the same for all these things. Like, we'd like to do more. I'm not thinking about it. Not really. I will say for Where Monsters Lie, I would have liked to very much have done the 3rd one because they have to go to Japan, don't they? Like they have to go to Japan. Yeah. And like, probably won't happen. But like that was the thing is like I had one more arc I could have done, and I probably flew too close to the sun in hopes that there would be more and that it'd be as the first volume was so popular. I thought for sure we'd be half as popular, and I'd buy the trade. Tell your friends, please.
Right. Where do you recommend everybody buy the trade? Just go to their LCS.
Your local comic shop, but
Thank you.
Whatever. For me personally, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? For Kyle Starks, it doesn't matter. I don't sell things on my store as much as I used to because it looks better for me when people buy things from the store. And I am in a lucky place where I don't need that specific income. And also I do a lot of shows. So I need that stock for shows when I meet people in person, when we go to TriviaCon, which was a great show. We'll hope to do TriviaCon again this year. Manifesting. Okay. Manifesting. So no, comic shops are always great. Not everyone has a comic shop. Not everyone has a good comic shop and a bad comic shop. Why would you want to go to it? I don't want to go to the bad video game store either, or the bad bookstore. I don't like those places. I don't like the bad grocery store. So I don't go to that one. I go to the good one. And not everyone has the privilege of having those options. So it doesn't matter to me. But that being said, support your local comic shop. That's
hell yeah.
Local business. There's no franchises. You know what I mean? Like comic shop is just someone trying to sell some stuff, and you might find something else cool. They might recommend you something cool, and there needs to be more of that too, for sure.
Hey, Walden Books is coming back. Maybe that'll be a boon to comic shops.
Really?
Yeah,
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I think they're opening 16 new stores.
Oh wow!
Look at that. I heard Barnes & Noble is opening a bunch of stores this year too. So it's
maybe that was at Barnes & Noble.
I think Barnes & Noble is opening 67. I think new locations this year. It's like, you know what? Love to hear it, right? Love to hear it. Buy books. Books are good. Also, comic books. Yep. I don't know. Have you seen the Barnes & Noble comic book section? not great. We love the manga though. We support manga.
Not
Manga's
enough
good.
Kyle Starks in that section.
Not
that's
enough
what I
Kyle
say.
Starks. Come on, guys.
Nope, definitely not.
They're getting better with their horror sections, though. I've been to the one or two where it's like, oh, it's not just Stephen King now. There's like some actual other authors. It's nice.
You know, those things like that, like Barnes and Noble and horror, like specifically horror and manga, it shows you, like, as a business, how open they are to changes. Because the horror fiction has bloomed since the pandemic, as did manga, and they really adjusted to that. It's like, oh, people want. I'm going to blank on so many names. We'll say like Joe Hill. That's a bad example too. Joe Hill are the five.
Joe
five
Hill, yeah.
Deadly Indians.
Yeah, Stephen Graham Jones.
Stephen Graham Jones. And like, there's a bunch of these guys. Like, there's a bunch of people who are building like a huge. It's not one good book. It's 5 good books, and like they're going, oh, we need to get those guys. But now that they're listening to find out who the little guys are. You know, I bet Barnes and Noble very quickly started carrying Brandon Sanderson. I bet they did it very quickly, right? And you go, well, if they like Brandon Sanderson, who else will they like? And it goes to show, like, why is their manga section larger than their comics section? Well, it's a disappointing answer, right? It's an upsetting answer, but it shows you, like, people like sequential storytelling, and that Barnes and Noble is like, well, people like this genre of book, and we're going to carry it. So whenever like the horror section grows, because I think the fandom's growing, like the fantasy romance section also growing, like they're just smart. So you really go into place that you can really see from a well-run business. You can see where the sort of dial is swinging, and like it's great, right? Because you don't have to hunt and peck quite so much.
It's very true. Sorry, go ahead, Carrie.
So we're slowly insinuating ourselves into the mainstream, kind of taking over little trickles of horror sneaking in.
Horror is always, you know, I feel like horror, which isn't entirely true, but I do feel like horror kind of had its Marvel Comics moment over these last couple of years, where it's like Art the Terrifier is everywhere now, right?
Yeah.
Where people are like, it's cool to like horror stuff, guys. It's like, yeah, it has been. It's always been cool. Horror is great. The superheroes are great too, guys. Buy a comic. Have you thought about that? You like Captain America? Maybe buy a Captain America comic. You probably like that too. They won't do that.
Buy the Lobo cancellation special #1.
Buy the Lobo cancellation special. It's very good. What a blessing that I got to do that. I got to be a Lobo man.
There you go.
Yeah. What do you think of Jason Momoa being picked as Lobo?
Let's go. Let's do it.
About freaking time.
Yeah.
You know what you do? You know, you were saying earlier that Lobo's not yours, and you know you want to see some cosplayers. You're a stepdad, but you know all you got to do. I got this brilliant idea. Okay, here's what you do. Right, we got Momoa coming up, so here's what you do. In Lobo cancellation special number, let's say 3 or 4, he loses his hand and he gets a harpoon hand. Right now, hear me out. He gets a harpoon hand. And then So anyway, I think I won't say anymore. I'll just let your imagination go wild there. But you know, you can use that. That's free if you want to use that. Maybe you'll start seeing some Lobo harpoon Lobos, and you're like, I did that.
That's mine, though.
That's me. I ripped off that harpoon hand for you. Yeah.
Let's hope that we get to a number 3. That'd be great. But I'd do a number 2. Let's go. Call me up, DC. You hear me?
There you go. Well, trust me, if it happens, we'll be the first ones to be like, we were there. He said it. He manifested it. We were there.
When I see that harpoon hand, I'm gonna poop.
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, it depends on the time of day. I'm very regular, so
it's true. You are.
I mean, listen. I don't want to completely rule out anything, but I don't know about harpoon hand. We'll see.
Fair enough.
Well,
maybe like an anchor. Is that too heavy? No. Stupid.
God damn it, Steve.
Damn it. Oh.
Damn it, Steve.
But you know, hey, listen. What if I had Lobo kiss Aquaman on the mouth?
That would be. I mean, that would blow everybody's mind, right? It's Momoa on Momoa action. Who doesn't want that? Straight guys want that. I mean, come on. You got to do it in the next like 5 years though, because you know he's already looking like the rest of us dads a little bit. So which makes me feel better about myself.
If I know anything about comics, the next Lobo won't come out until well after the movie comes out. So
That's true. That tie-in.
So that's Supergirl. We're going to see him in Supergirl.
Yes.
they
Oh, is
said.
that right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah,
if it's
I'm excited
anything
as
close-
hell.
If it's anything close to that Tom King book, what a treat it'll be.
Absolutely. I mean, he's definitely there as a consultant. So they're there. Like James Gunn was like, why do I inspire when I could just tap him and be like, hey, what do you think?
Well, he's
I was
doing
like-
that with, again, I don't want to speak for like sort of the. I'm old, and so it's all that's very shocking. Like it's still a shock to be like Squirrel Girls in a video game. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But it's like also like wildly thrilling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like one of the things it's the very much sort of the old angry geek complaint is like, why would you change the origin? Why would you change the origins of any of these characters when they've been a successful mythology for 75 years? Little things like that. And the thing is because everyone wants to put their fingerprint. No one just wants to go to work. They all want to make it their own somehow. But I think one of the things that James Gunn has said that to me is very exciting and very thrilling is like, we have great stories. Why would we not use these great stories? And like you could have grabbed any Fantastic Four story, like any one of them, and I say respectfully, it's hard to make things. Probably been better than that movie, right? Like any single story, any single issue. So those things like, man, you guys could just take good stories. Like you don't have to pay the writers because they don't have to pay anybody anything. It's not like it's going to cost you option money. Like there's no option money. Just make the best version. And I think James Gunn gets that. And I know Supergirl was when I found out that Supergirl hadn't sold that well until you mentioned it. I was like, I don't believe that's unbelievable because that's an unbelievably good story. Even though, listen, it might be True Grit. Half of it might just be True Grit in space. That's still a pretty good start to a really great Supergirl story. That was one of the best books in years. Very good. I hope it's very close.
Absolutely. So.
Well, we know James Gunn, if you have you seen Creature Commandos?
Oh yeah.
Oh, friggin' awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, he's very good at what he does. I'm like the shittiest version of James Gunn. It's like, is it actiony? Is it kind of clever? Is it silly? Does it have a little bit of heart? Yeah, that's what James Gunn does, right? Yes, that's what Kyle Starks does too. He just does the shittiest version of it, which is to say the lowest paid version of it. But I like to think we're in the same Venn diagram of storytellers.
So Kyle, you're saying that you're like a bargain bin James Gunn? That's basically.
I'm like Timu James Gunn. Yes.
So like that in the intro sequence to Creature Commandos when they show James Gunn at his laptop for a second and he leans back and he like feels cool and he does that, like you'd fall over. You'd fall over backwards.
Or I'd be sitting on like a cardboard box with like a crayon. You know what I mean? Would be more like
this is my
What do you
plan.
think this is? I can't afford a MacBook. Do you know how much those things cost? Come on. It's a Google product.
We love James Gunn. James Gunn's great. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited for James Gunn.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Yeah.
So basically, we're coming up on an hour, which is normally around the time. So I mean, if you have to go, no problem. But if you want to hang around, well, we could just keep joshing. We normally, spend the rest of the show talking about some of like the comic news, which you're more than welcome to join us as we talk about whatever's coming out in the comic world. But Steve, no, you can be there too. I mean, unless you don't want to.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
I have no other plans for the evening.
Oh my God! Thank you so much, Mr. Van Sam.
I cleared the schedule.
Oh boy, Carrie, so exciting. Leo, I can tell you're thrilled.
I'm always thrilled.
Well, yeah, it's just because you're out of the box, but not the bag.
Yep.
No, he's in the bag. He's very well in that bag.
No,
all up in that.
I only had like 2 or 3 shots in this, so it's.
So,
hey, listen. It's such an honor to be invited. What do I do? What, the beans? What's the beans?
No, Leo has some issues every now and then. He turns into a cat, so then his toes are beans.
You guys are so mean to Leo.
There's
feel
so
like
much lore. There's just a lot of lore.
They love photoshopping pictures of me, so it's.
No.
Yeah, it's all good love.
Leo. I think Leo's hitting all the buttons, isn't he? Isn't he in charge of the buttons?
Yeah.
I feel like, guys, you've seen Wizard of Oz. Don't mess with the guy who's hitting the buttons.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
No, I only make fun of him when I'm the person who's pushing the buttons. So I Yeah.
And the best is that we have an image that's a cat that's like a ginger tabby with like with glasses on, and literally it's like, and Leo's a cat again. Shit. Like it's just like shocked face cat, just like it's so fucking funny. Yeah, no, he see, there you go.
So mean. All right, hey, listen, I do have to work. It was such an honor to be asked to come and talk about my stuff. You guys read my stuff, which is very exciting. I was telling someone, I don't remember who it was, when we did that panel at TriviaCon, the guy read my entire Rick and Morty run, and it was like, we don't have to talk about Rick and Morty. And I was like, well, they probably want us to. And he's like, okay, but he read the entire run.
We did.
I want to talk about it, which says something. But I love that sort of preparation. I love that you guys read my books. I love that someone is suggesting for you guys to read my books here in this group. We love that. As you know, there's not a lot of promotion comics that's worth a shit. These podcasts, you guys supporting any artist. In this case, it happens to me. But mentioning work. Oh, here's this new Kyle Starks book. We live by it. We love it. We can't live without it. It's so crucial. So getting one person, Carrie obviously is a big fan. We appreciate that a lot. She's reading that good horror books. And talking about it, like we can't ask for more. And anyone who's talking about my books, it's an honor to come and get to talk with them about all things comics and horror. Steve, very interesting. It's a great time. I'll be back again. But for now, I have to go. I'm working on 2 books, so I have to go do those 2 books.
Thanks,
so I can keep getting paid. So hey,
great meeting you.
Have fun talking about comic news.
We shall.
We will.
We're gonna talk Diamond today. Holy shit! On that note, it's time for me to go.
Oh boy! Way to drop one.
God damn!
Oh.
Wow! Way to just
exit.
Man, that guillotine just got dropped. He just left it.
You've heard of Brexit? That was a Spexit.
Yeah, seriously. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get that bargain bin James Gunn image out of my head. I just imagine like I can't afford it. Like I was like I can't. Like I was like, God damn it, man! Don't. I was like, don't sell yourself short. It might be a little true, but still. But
too much self-deprecation. That guy's too humble. What a nice guy. Really, really talented. I really enjoyed Where Monsters Lie, and I'm happy to read more of his stuff. He's really, really good.
Steve, listen. The second I knew he was there, like my brain did that thing where it was just like it just puzzle pieced together. I was like, we're gonna have him. I was like,
you turned into Professor Puzzleman for one moment.
One moment.
Just one mo.
I just MacGyvered this idea. I was like, you know what? You know who would be great? I was like, Steve, write really good horror. Kyle, also good horror. I was like, networking. Click.
There you go.
It was.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the thought, and as Kyle said, it's an honor to be asked to come on. It's been a while for you guys. The last episodes, I came on a double shot. I don't know how long ago it was, but it was the She-Hulk episode.
Yeah, I was about to say it was. We were talking about the She-Hulk show had just come out.
It hadn't even finished yet. It was like the first few episodes were out. And you did 2 because you did like the Dan Slott era, and then we went back to John Byrne. And I was like, can I be on both though? Because like She-Hulk, she my girl. She was always my girl.
Right.
And that was fun. That was a while ago. I think that was 2 years ago or something.
Yeah, it was definitely a while ago.
I do love that the Mark A. Nelson, there's a Mark A. Nelson clip in your intro. I love that because that was like, it's still one of my favorite podcasts I've ever been a part of. I just loved that.
God damn it. Why was I away? Like, I remember
I couldn't make it. He was so great.
Yeah, I know.
And Tom Snigoski is very good friends with Mark.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they're old friends. And
shit. I'll have to bring that up. Yeah, no,
yeah.
Because spoiler, everybody, Thomas will be joining us on a future show. And, someone in this show helped us with the hookup. So I don't want to say who that is. I can't.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah,
Tom's awesome. Tom's awesome. He's local. I met him this year, and we just kind of became fast friends. And he's writing the new Herculoids comics that are coming out. I think Dynamite. Is it Dynamite? I could not be more excited. They're my like all-time favorite Hanna-Barbera thing ever. And they really, it's funny, like, you know, when I was a kid and I loved them and I would watch Space Ghost too, and I'd watch, you know, all the cartoons. I mean, as I'm sure most of us did. But like the Herculoids were the thing. I'm like, okay, this is like barbarians and fantasy and sci-fi and dinosaurs and dragons and like this is like literally everything I possibly could like in one place. And it's just remained like the Squad. Like there are certain like casts that you need all the figures of, and you need the Squad of them. The Herculoids is like that. I wish the toys weren't so. I mean, they're like so expensive now. It's just stupid.
Yeah, it's true.
They're because they came out like 20 years ago, and they're like, I think the only toys that were ever made. I think.
Wow, it's a great show.
It's a fun show.
But that's why when DC did that book Future Quest that was bringing everybody together, I was like, this is so great. Yes, please. And it was just Jeff Parker and I think Evan Doc Shaner was just, oh my God, they did such a great job. And then of course seeing the Herculoids, there was like you read them and I can still hear like, you know, the sound effects, like, oh, when the lightning bolt comes out or when turns I'm like, oh my God, like I can still hear it as like, you know, the classic Hanna-Barbera.
Because they literally just used the same exact sound effects for like 1,000 shows, 1,000 episodes of different shows. Like they just the same. That's rain. That's thunder. That's a lightning bolt. That's punching. That's a boulder dropping. That's like, or like something heavy dropping down, and there's like that. Thrum.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's certain sound effects that were just absolutely friggin' legendary with those old Hanna-Barbera shows. Love it.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Foley artists were fantastic for that.
Yeah.
But no, we're really looking forward to having him on. Cool. I mean, I will say there's that, and we have so many guests we haven't even talked about yet that are going to be coming on the show this year. And every time I look at our system, I'm like, wow, we have all these people. I'm like, good God, they like us. Why? I was like, Leo, why did I have to make us so likable? Wasn't it great?
Why did you let Drew make this show good? Why did you do that?
Why? No, yeah. I was like, Leo, why?
Come on, man.
Like, I feel like it's like that scene in Aladdin when they're turning into genes. Like, Al, what are you doing? Why are you bringing me into this? Please don't. Like, why? Why?
Jafar, I'm stuck.
You know what? I think
Jafar.
What the real turning point of the show was when Drew stopped eating on the show.
I hate you so much.
We started with Drew eating on the show.
You know what? I feel like we went through fate. It was that, and then it was always
time, and
the like Carrie made that joke. She was like, the joke was always, oh, how soon until Drew's laying down, like just. And I'm just like, and it's every time I never thought anything of it, and then somebody pointed out to me, and then that was just like. People are watching shit.
Do you see the other backgrounds besides yours, Drew? Do you see how much effort the three of us have put into our presentation tonight?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, and all I have is window.
At least you're not laying down.
Yeah.
At least you're not laying down snacking. That's good.
And we spent so much time trying to get his laptop up and running. I don't know why you don't use the laptop.
Because Leo, I have to have some form of independence against you trying to improve my life. So
you're the man, Leo.
Yeah, Leo.
Drew fights the man.
I feel like Leo. I have to have something. I think some part of it is I just don't want to listen to you completely because then you just like, well, all my ideas are good. I was like, no, I got to keep your ego in check. And then the other part of me is just I feel like our antagonistic nature is just part of the show's charm. And then other part of it is that I don't know. I'm tired. Leave me alone. Like, can we go to the news or something? Like, I'm getting tired of debating.
My fifth bullet is fuck you.
Exactly.
That's also on the list.
Exactly. You know, and then Carrie's just operating on Jurassic Park rules. I was like, God creates dinosaur dies. God creates man creates dinosaur eats man. And Carrie inherits the show.
And the Arabs came and they killed they got all the oil and made Mercedes Benzes and
exactly all of that.
Yeah.
You know, Right. That's right, Steve. Life will find a way. But
yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah, yes. Carrie is just like, I'd say nothing. These two are just talking about me like I'm not here. This squirrel is like, these bitches are nuts. You said it. You said it. They're a little
Just
nutty.
are nuts.
They're a little nutty. All right, Leah, do you want to do the news?
Yeah. Let me find the button here.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Okay, who's doing variant watch this week?
Oh my God, Leo.
Give me a second.
Oh my God. Leo, you know what? If I prefaced it with, "Oh, hey, check out this link for new toys," then you would read it.
Oh, I would already be on eBay trying to buy something.
Exactly. So why? I was like,
Hold on. I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
You do this just to spite me. I literally said.
I do. Yes.
Oh
yes.
my God.
We got to add Steve to the Splash Pages chat so he can follow. Make sure you read your story.
Okay, so Marvel Comics is celebrating Black History Month with 2 special variant cover collections this February. So the first features Black heroes from the Star Wars universe, while the second is going to be showcasing new Marvel books with legendary heroes. We are revealing, or what's been revealed so far is the Marvel collection. I don't believe we have the Star Wars collection yet.
Yeah.
But it has 4 incredible artists: Chris Allen, Torrin Clark, Ken Lashley, and Aletha Martinez. So their stunning covers celebrate both iconic champions like Black Panther and Captain America, as well as rising stars in the Marvel Universe. And fans can look forward to Storm Life Dream, a special one-shot honoring Storm's legacy. So going over the books here, the first one we have is Aletha Martinez. She's a groundbreaking artist known for superhero illustrations, celebrated for World of Wakanda. That was done with Roxane Gay, and also Batgirl in 2005. What we're seeing here is Avengers number 23. It's a variant cover with T'Challa, the Black Panther, and Wakanda's legendary king, currently leading Avengers. So this book is by Jed McKay and Farhad Karami, and it's releasing February 5th.
So cool.
And, yeah. Next book is also by Aletha. It's New Champions number 2, and it's featuring Gold Tiger. Gold Tiger is a mysterious new Wakandan champion making their debut in New Champions. And this book's being brought to you by Steve Fox and Ivan Ferrelli, and this is going to be released February 12th. And the next artist on the list is going to be Ken Lashley. So Ken is a veteran artist, renowned for his detailed style in X-Men Prime, part of the Resurrection event, and his work on Black Panther with Ta-Nehisi Coates. And what we're looking at here is Power Man Timeless number 1. And I believe Timeless started last year. So this month, or Black History Month, we're going to be getting a variant cover with Luke Cage. It's a future version of Luke Cage, bringing new powers to the present in Power Man Timeless. And this is written by Colin Kelly, Jackson Lanzig, and Bernard Chang. And this is releasing February 5th. And Ken is also doing X Factor number 7. So this is Frenzy, a former villain turned government hero, now bringing her super strength to X Factor. And this is by Mark Russell and Robert Quinn, and this is being released February 19th. And the next artist we have on our list is Torrin Clark. So recognized as a Marvel Stormbreaker, known for his dynamic work on Spider-Man and the Beyond storyline. And Storm number 5, celebrating 50 years as Marvel's groundbreaking mutant hero, currently starring in both Avengers and her own series. And this book's being brought to you by Mara Aodeli and Lucas Wernick, and this is being released February 19th. And then we have a variant cover by Chris Allen. He's an emerging talent making waves with his dynamic artwork on Captain America and also worked on Miles Morales titles, known for balancing action with emotional storytelling. So we're looking at Sam Wilson, Captain America #2. And the high-flying Captain America stars in a new series, and this is being brought to you by Evan Narcisi, Greg Pak, and Eder Messias. And this is being released February 12th. And the last book is going to be X-Men #11. So this is a rising X-Men star with temperature control powers, newly promoted to the main team called Temper. It's under Cyclops. And this book's brought to you by Jed McKay and Ryan Stegman, and that's being released February 12th. And not shown is also going to be a new Spider-Man Miles Morales book. That's going to be by Cody Ziegler, Luigi Zagaria, and also facing off against Deadpool soon.
Okay.
Nice.
There we have it.
Very nice.
Man,
Wonderful.
that timeless Luke Cage is so badass.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That cover.
Absolutely.
Brandon started reading it, and I know he loved it. He subscribed to the new series coming out.
Nice. Yeah, it's definitely something different. And it'll be interesting to see now that he's part of the mainstream Marvel right now and what that'll entail. But all right, so I guess Leo, I think that's the only one. So I guess you want to just you want to press the other button.
Drew's News. Exciting tales, fresh comic views. In the pages, heroes fly, villains plot under the sky. From Gotham's dark to Metropolis views, we cover stories old and new. Drew's News, your daily source for comic clues. Join the fun, it's a heroic cruise in the world of Drew's Comic News.
Is this Drew's news? Right
This
now?
is This is like in Boy Meets World when Mr. Feeney admits that he likes the Feeney call.
But this is Drew's news right now.
Right now.
Okay, when will then be now?
Soon. So,
well, before we get into the actual news items, do we want to do a quick chat about Diamond?
No.
Yeah.
No, we're just going to bury it and forget. I mean, that's my 2 cents. I was like, I just kept forgetting it's there. And I'm
Hey
like,
guys, what's going on with Diamond?
Okay, cool.
Diamond filed for bankruptcy, and from my understanding, Diamond was, responsible for a lot of small publishers being going under when they first started out. Is that right?
Well, Leo, Diamond Comics distributors have filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I'm quoting this from Toy Arc. All of their properties, including Diamond Select Toys, Gentle Giant, AFA, are now up for sale, and some are already being bid on. So you can hope they included such things as Diamond Book Distributors, Collectible Grading Authority, Diamond Select Toys. But hopefully they will be bought out by people who will keep the comic thing. Steve's just like, fuck this, I'm going to clean my house.
Yeah.
Very dusty. You can't see it, but it's bad. I was like, oh my God.
No, but it does appear as though there's people already interested in purchasing. So hopefully that they will leave the platform as it is and just cover or take up the funding, I guess,
I tell you, the Diamond toys and collectibles, for a while they were pretty cool. It's they made some like collectible banks, but it was more like statues. Like I have a big hand solo of Frozen and Carbonite back there, and like really good size, good quality stuff. It was a bank, they could sell it as a bank, but it's it was more of a statue. But I they were the sole distributor for Marvel and DC for a while, and that hurt a lot of people.
Yeah.
I guess nobody else wants to chat about it, so we can move on.
It's kind of one of those things that came out just before.
Yeah.
Today, so it's like maybe we'll know more next week.
Oh yeah.
And elaborate with facts that have been.
I don't know. I just kind of forgot about it, and I was like, "Oh, Diamond, okay." I hate to say it, like it feels awful because I do remember, like Leo, like I remember a lot of what you were saying, especially, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, like I was like, we're gonna start 2025 off like that. All right, let's roll that dice.
Yeah, the thing with Diamond was like, it was harder to, I believe it's harder to get into a small comic shop if you're not in Diamond, and it's not necessarily the easiest thing to get Diamond distribution because you have to be, you have to have a certain amount of whatever title, like publishing coming out, or some, like, to get going, it's hard. So if you have like a book and you're like, oh, well, I'm doing issue 1 and I hope it sells well and I'll make 3 more, they're like, yeah, no, you're not definitely getting Diamond distribution, and that means you can't get, in hundreds of comic books, maybe thousands. I don't know how many comic book shops we have across this nation, but not enough. That's for sure. Yep. But that's why you got to go and support your local shops, guys. But
totally.
Yeah. It was just kind of like a roadblock for a lot of us little guys, basically.
Yeah, I think so. That's some of it. I was just like, all right, well, the king is dead. Long live the king. So
pretty much.
With I would hope that independent publishers are growing. With Marvel being like the same old. DC's been killing it, but you figure with the rise of people making their own comics, maybe somebody buys out Diamond and makes something specifically for independent publishers.
It would be great if some of us little guys could get in there a little bit easier. I mean, so some of these comics, lots of these small publishers are they Kickstarter everything, or some sort of crowdfunding, and that has become a very common thing. You'll see lots of people doing that, and they're the little guys oftentimes. But then sometimes you'll see like I don't want to say the wrong name, so I just won't name anybody. But like there are mid-level and higher level indie studios now, and I don't see them necessarily in the comic shops either. I see them online all the time. I see lots of stuff by like Mad Cave and Boom Studios, and who's doing the Hercules Dynamite, right?
Dynamite, yep.
For some reason, it just sticks in my brain, and I like have to think about it every single time for some reason. Dynamite, but Dynamite.
Hey.
But yeah, like there's just like tons of these like great studios, great publishing houses that are putting out tons of stuff. But you go in the comic stores, and like some of the bigger ones, you might see some of it, but it's not worth it. Or for the smaller guys to keep it on the shelves, or maybe they don't even know about it. And like, well,
yeah.
So
yeah.
All right. Well, like you said, Steve, go to your local LCS, support them.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it's a great thing about an LCS. You can have a pull list, and then, like me, go there every like 3 or 4 months and pick up all your books.
Right. All right. So let's start the news. Am I up first?
You're
Carrie?
first and last. Yes.
All right, cool. All right, let's do this. All right, everybody, welcome to Drew's News. I'll be your Drew. So comic books are all about milestones. So the latest one that we've learned that will be happening in April is Wolverine will be hitting his 400th issue. One of the more vicious of the comic book Canadians, has his current creative team, writer Saladin Ahmed and artist Martin Colocolo, are pulling out all stops to make it a legendary chapter for Wolverine issue 8, aka Legacy 400, which is going to contain 2 tales by Ahmed and Colocolo that will be packed with key appearances, revelations, and things that are just going to essentially define Logan's adventure moving forward. So the synopsis for it officially is that his latest run are going to be placing him in the crosshairs of an existential new threat known as the Adamantine. As the mystical force hunting the unbreakable metal that coats Wolverine's claws and skeleton, the lore-shattering new archenemy at last stands fully revealed to reclaim and purify its legacy. So we're going to see a return to Logan's past, which apparently no one's going to see coming, and a bonus story that's going to be written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson, who some might know is killing it right now with his Transformers series, who's also going to contribute a really great variant cover.
Oh
so
God. Transformers is so awesome.
Yeah. So you got a lot going there. Leo is just showcasing some of the coverage. You got the main one there is by Martin. You had a beautiful cover that's by Andy Kubert there. And then the next one is also by Jerome Opeña. This is on sale April 16th. And it's just looking great. So if you're a big fan of Logan, please talk to your LCS, because again, milestone issue, it's going to be big.
So question for you, Drew. When did Batman join Wolverine there?
Okay, moving on.
You see, he's right on the bottom right. That is Batman.
I got that feel too.
Oh yeah. What the hell is he doing back there?
I think Leo.
He's
you know what,
snuck
Leo?
in.
I can't. I'm just gonna, Leo. I've just learned with you, when you come at me with these jokes, I'm like, no, I'm just gonna ignore you, and then you'll go away.
Is that the Vindicator? Maybe that's the Vindicator.
That's probably the Vindicator. I think he shows up in the current run. One of them, Vindicator, Constrictor, Villains and Ends in.
To me,
force.
they'll always just be collectively the Vindicator. I don't give a shit.
Fair enough.
Vindicator. It's fine.
There you go. Vindicator, the Violator. I don't know. Carrie, I believe it's your turn for what you call Cullen Watch.
Yes, this is going to be Cullen Watch, because there is a lot of Cullen Bunn news this week. Leo, if you could stay on the pictures, then I'll tell you when to advance.
Totally.
All right. Okay, first of all, we have coming out The Collected Fiction of Cullen Bunn, Volume 1. Currently, if you go to Outland Entertainment, you can pre-order it for $19.95. And as per Cullen on his Discord, yes, I haven't spoken much about this. This will be coming soon from Outland. It's a chronological collection of pretty much all the short fiction I've written, including some old pieces that were never published and some new pieces written for the collection. It will be 2 volumes initially, but can grow to a third in time. So for those of you who are unaware, Cullen actually does prose work as well. He does kind of about everything. He writes prose, he writes comics, he writes games, he's got some movies. Well, I'll cover that in a minute. If you want to go to the next one, this is a page from Wrathborn, which is an apocalyptic science fiction fantasy world that he created. It's got some Thundar, some heavy metal. It's going to be a lot of fun. It will see the light as a comic in prose and in gaming. And Cullen wrote the first bunch of comic pages for the project, which is being drawn by Gur Kurti. But another writer, Scott Colby, is going to take over the comic, while Cullen will still be involved with the prose work and helping out with the gaming content. So He's got a bunch of projects that are all going in a ton of different directions at once. So you get okay, you can play the game and you can read the book and you can watch the comic and see how they all tie together and what you can do with them. Okay. Next picture is Chris. Nope. Is there one more? Oh, okay. You never mind. You uploaded it before I added the last one. But he also has a book called Goblinville. It's the first volume that's going to be coming out from a dark fantasy novella series. It was originally serialized on Patreon, but it will be there will be an expanded and corrected universe with a second one finished and a third in the works. So look up Goblinville. It's going to be coming out to you soon. Bunch of prose works. Now this is where we get a lot of fun. Okay, so Disincarnate is a new project that he's also doing with Outland Entertainment. This is going to have a central universe. We get Disincarnate, a cipher as a graphic novel, Disincarnate Hunting Party as a webcomic on Instagram, and Disincarnate, a film in association with Moving Pictures Media Group. What we're looking at here is Disincarnate, the cipher, and you can go through 4 images on this one while I'm talking about it real quick. And I'm just grabbing straight from what they put up because this is all, there is hardly anything put out about it. But
Wow.
This looks amazing.
yeah, so in the site, in the graphic novel, basically it says Caleb did something bad and he tried to hide it. There's a price to pay though. Some blood doesn't wash away, and secrets as deep and dark as this rarely stay buried. Caleb finds himself fleeing into the night, fleeing into the wilderness with his wife and 2 children in tow, and his sanity unraveling all around him. This is the beginning of a nightmare of violence and bloodshed, of strange sacrifice, futile efforts to understand messages from beyond. So, okay, that's what we have for the graphic novel. Now, the next 3 pictures are going over Disincarnate, the Hunting Party, which is the webcomic we're going to have. Most of us were asleep when it started, when it all fell apart. I like to think maybe most of us were still sleeping in a way when it got bad. Okay, now we go back in time a bit, it seems. So 14-year-old Darla and her younger brother Caleb accompany their father on an early morning hunting expedition. What they find out in the woods, what finds them, is so shocking and horrifying that none of them may return from the forest. This is illustrated by Jeremy D. Moeller, and Hunting Party is a tale of terror, but also a clue to a secret project that will delight the horror fans worldwide. Can you decipher the secret messages? Will you crack the code of Disincarnate? So the clues are going to be in here that then tie back with the graphic novel, which is the cipher. So we're going to have this ongoing game of mind-bending tricks to try to figure out and put together puzzles. And I can imagine that the Reddit is just going to blow up, and different sites on who can put together all the different clues between the graphic novel and the webcomic. And then lastly, the film will be coming out. It's in pre-production right now. And this focuses around a group of high school students. Kaylee and her friends Sandra, Reggie, and Rebecca are about to face down their own worst nightmares. Friends and family in their small town are behaving oddly and out of character, harming themselves or each other, obsessing over strange manifestations, or congregating together to worship something mysterious and unseen. Banding together through the course of a night, they must figure out why this is happening in their town because they're the only ones who can stop it. And that's going to be then for the Cullen Watch. I did take all of the text directly from the sites because as we don't know anything else about it, I didn't want to speculate and go get something off. So
Wow.
But yeah, he has so many things, and this is like all just being released right now. Like Outland just, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. He's been working on it, but the man does. Like Steve, you do all this. You do comics, and you do narration, and you do writing, and you do illustrations, and you do music. You just do so many things. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how Cullen keeps up with everything he does too, because he's writing the gaming sides of things that go with his movies, that go with his books, that go with his comics, and it's just nuts.
Wow, so cool.
Yeah.
Very ambitious project, some insanely amazing art.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and especially merging, cryptography, along with it, the webcomic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, but Cullen has always been ambitious, and his projects are just dying to be adapted. And I mean, we had him on last year talking about Harrow County, and like, it is just such a crime that is not a show yet, because it is so good. Like, I'm just waiting for that to be like, oh, we're doing Harrow County show. I'm like, let's go.
And
so
we will also be having Cullen on later this year, so stay tuned, everybody. We'll be letting you know. We've got it booked, but we're going to make you wait to find out when. So
yes, wait and keep watching. But no, Carrie, you had me at Cullen Bunn. I'm like, all right, what's he doing now? Let's go. What horrors?
He's doing everything. He's doing all the things. That's what he's doing
Well,
now.
clearly, we need to introduce him to Steve, so then they can join forces and take over the world, Pinky.
Yes.
Yes. But all right. So I think, Carrie, there's one more story, right?
And it is yours.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Well, it's funny that Steve brought up Mad Cave, because this is a new thriller from that. So this March, Dark Pyramid, which is a world of ancient conspiracies, monstrous horrors, and the ultimate fight for the truth. This is a 5-issue limited series from the creator team of the Eisner Award winning Paul Tobin and 2000 AD PJ Holden. So the synopsis is: Huki Hidalgo, a adventurist and popular live streamer, has gone missing while climbing Mount Denali in Alaska. When his girlfriend Becca arrives at the base of the mountain to retrace his steps, she soon discovers something beyond the quote-unquote dreamy and impressive landscape. There is a conspiracy deep within the heart of Denali itself, a dark pyramid, silent, waiting, that Becca and scores of Huki fans determine to either find him or find some fun will face death, avalanches, and monsters to find the truth. So apparently this is just a series about uncovering mysteries, according to Tobin. And he says that each step, the creative team just found new opportunities to make the story and characters better, more dynamic, more terrifying, more mysterious. It's just literally, he said, it's a comic about how comics should be made, and that made it into a series that will be loved. So it's about the heart of an ancient mystery, and a bunch of weird, wonderfully odd characters. Honestly, everything about this sounds fucking amazing, and it's going to be in your comic shops March 12th. Dark Pyramid issue 1.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did you guys know about the conspiracy about the Dark Pyramid?
About the comic Dark Pyramid, or about a different one?
The actual Dark Pyramid that's under Alaska.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That'd be a no.
Okay, so yeah, this is actually based off an actual conspiracy that there is a Dark Pyramid under Alaska. Yeah.
Oh, is that because the Yautjas put that there, and that's where they used to send the young bloods, and they would hunt the
God damn it, Steve! I was just gonna make that joke. Damn it!
Too late.
Son of a bitch.
It's aliens. It's always aliens.
So that must be what that AVP movie was riffing on then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I didn't know it was a real conspiracy thing.
It's okay, Steve. It still was under a lot of mediocrity, so we couldn't have noticed. We're like, oh, okay. So there's something under the hood. No idea.
Hey, it had my boy Lance, and he got to stand up to the Predator and
that's
die
true.
Awesome. So it was awesome.
Yeah, go Lance.
Go Lance.
All right. Well, that's all the news. So you know what, Carrie? Speaking of, we were talking about Kickstarters earlier. What's new in the Kickstarter world? Who should we support? Take it away, girl.
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Drew. What we're gonna do here is I got that up. All right. Last week I didn't get to go through these quite as well. I was a little hurried. So we're going to cover those again real quick. This is Worthy Chaos Devastation, a supernatural Western comic, issue 1. Our dear friend Carissa Grant is doing this. It is up until Friday, January 24th at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And basically, Buffy meets Supernatural in the Wild West as they hunt down cryptids while pursued by angels, demons, monsters, vampires, and more. This fun adventurous series will keep you on your toes and allow you to interact with your favorite cryptids as well as some new ones that they created. Wendigos, dragon plants, wampus cats, sheep demons, chupacabras, crow demons, scarecrows, kelpies, mothman, Bigfoot, and many more. She's just nailed it. She has got so many different things going on right now. In her, she has 31 different tiers in this, 2 of which are already sold out. But you can go through and get those are the stickers and magnets that you can get, and Sarah's looking rather voluptuous. You can get some metal pins that she put out. This is kind of a neat Seraphina's little, I mean, getting a prop from the comic book that's used there. The plushies that she put this time, that Bigfoot is like 3 feet long. It's like half my, over half my size. Yes, it's huge.
So it could be a boyfriend if you're into short kings.
Oh my god.
Yes.
And hairy guys. Also hairy guys.
Oh no.
Yeah, and all the statues.
Hey, don't yuck anyone's yum. You don't know who's listening.
So yeah, basically the merch that she has out, I've showed you some of this, but she has all the various variants. You can do catch up with like the other series that she did as well, and catch up with some of their merch as well. There are different variants. There are metal cards, metal covers, buttons, bookmarks, embroidered bookmarks, coins, plushies, stickers, magnets, coloring pages, different songs written for the series on MP3s, props from the comics, statues, jointed toys. There's some other stuff too. And this is something that's really cool that she's doing a whole setup with on her website. You get the journal with the Bigfoot and Wendigo sticker page. And this is going to be an ongoing thing. You can subscribe just to this. And depending on what subscription level you get, she'll give you the journal for free. Every month, you'll get new pages that have the different cryptids and mythological beings from her universe with explanations about them. And then depending on what you get, you'll either get like metal things or stickers or magnets or something to go along with it. So it's a constantly updating thing, and you can put in extra pages yourself if you want to put in notes. So that's kind of a cool thing that she's doing as well.
Neat. Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge. That is all very, very ambitious. Holy crap.
Oh,
Her
lots of
Kickstarter
stuff.
are, yeah, I go through and just go, wow. Because if you go through her add-ons, it's just like, holy shit. I don't even know how to like keep up with it. She's like, do you want me to hold one of these for you? I'm like,
yes.
no. I have like half my bedroom, I think, currently devoted to Worthy Chaos merch at this point. It's rather insane. I'm like, okay, yeah, more Carissa stuff. Okay. Oh, more Carissa stuff. Oh God, where am I gonna put it? I'm wearing a Steve Van Samson t-shirt. I'm wearing a Carissa Grant necklace. It's Anubis. Yeah, but so go check that out and just start following all of Chris's projects. She does crazy awesome stuff. Next up, we have Ice and Bone, which is a samurai action horror. They're doing Aaron Robleski, who we've had on before. This is Ice and Bone number 1 and 2. This is going on until Thursday, February 6th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Central. This is the 5th in the series. It's set in 16th century Japan. Anarchy reigns. Revenge took Nakaki beyond blood and fire, and now there's only Ice and Bone. If you're into samurais or manga, Aaron's got the package for you. There are 25 pledge levels you can choose from here, from digital to physical, a variety of variant covers, including some metal, some catch-up packs, and more that you can find for any price range. There were some early bird things. I announced that before, but we've passed those now. These are the covers that he has going for this issue. Very nice, I think, anyway. And the katanas. Yes.
Oh, sorry. No, I was. I'll speak when you're done with this one.
Oh, I do keep showing off the katana. This is the red and black one, and it's from Blood and Fire. But it is a really cool little undoable katana. It does have I have it being used right now, but it does come with a stand. There's the Ice and Bone katana and a regular notched white one. He includes t-shirts as part of his goals. There are all the old novels that you can get in retail or metal prints. There's some stickers and stuff. He's got mugs, he's got buttons, he's got bookmarks, he's got a charm, which is different than this. He's got the script going out. He's got glass cloths. He's got models. And this is a cool thing that he's doing too. Depending on how many backers he has, and currently he's reached the second level. He includes digital or digital comics to go with, depending each of the different backers, and he has teamed up with the Order of Dracula. And if you pledge for both of these different comics, or both of these different comic Kickstarter projects, you can get one of these Hernan Gonzalez crossover prints for free, because you're pledging to both. So, yeah, I think I covered pretty much all of the pledges that go on. Now, Leah, what were you going to ask?
I was just curious, like with samurais, like, did I miss something? Samurais are like, we just had the Shogun show. There's like 3 or 4 samurai video games coming out this year. Like, is samurai like the new it?
I don't know. Samurais
are everybody.
No, samurais have always been there, Leo. You just didn't care till now.
No, I mean, I think that's Leo's making a good point. I think that they're having a moment. It does seem that way. Just like Pirates had a moment after Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know?
No, that's true. You're
they
right,
were always there too.
Yeah, they were always there. But I think you're right, Steve. I think because that Shogun swept it.
Leo, he gave me the credit.
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. Again,
He goes, actually, Steve, I think you're right on this.
Yeah, I think you're right, and then Leo too. But
as long as somebody gets the credit, the job is done. You know.
Okay.
You're the unsung hero.
I'll mail you the credit afterwards. After the show, I'll mail it to you.
Dear God.
You know what else is like become popular recently? I mean, it's kind of been popular for forever, but Dracula. So,
oh yeah, I'm hearing good things about that Nosferatu movie.
I saw it twice.
Really?
Yeah, I liked it.
Nice.
So this one, Order of Dracula #5, The Death of Dracula, is up until Wednesday, January 22nd at 7:16 p.m. And this is the one that if you go along and do it and Ice and Bone, you get the artwork. Let's get, these are the covers up I wanted to get so you can see both of them. That's a naughty cover. In this specific comic, to save lives, a reporter must find the truth about a mental patient calling himself Dracula while trying to survive in a police state. It is loosely based off of The Death of Dracula, which was a movie, but they kind of changed a couple things around to make it more their own. In addition to the PDF and covers A and B print copies, there's also a triple-length digital deluxe PDF, as well as an Order of the Dragon medallion, a t-shirt, all of their previous comics, and a bunch of milestone rewards. This is what the t-shirt is going to look like. You can order it in the different colors. These are the milestones they've opened up so far, which they'll get the PDF like they're tied with Blood and Fire. But this medallion looks really, really cool.
Really cool.
Yeah, I was kind of like, ooh, I like that. Basically, the Order of Dracula series is a story of an Irish separatist in the 1910s who helps Dracula defeat an old enemy in World War I Arabia in exchange for Dracula helping him with his cause. But this is a standalone story that takes place in 1976 Romania when it was under communist rule. And there is a lot of mystery and stuff. I'm not going to read the entire plot and do it, but it sounds like a really good story. There's some mental health questions going on. You know, is the man really Dracula? Is he Dracula reincarnated? Is he just insane? Who knows? The comic is rated PG-13 with the exception of the partial nudity on cover B. There's no sex or nudity. It's kind of been a what-if series. And interestingly enough, the print comic is 8x5 square, which to me is kind of a new thing.
That's pretty weird, yeah.
Yeah, I don't own any square comics, so yeah, I guess
that's
time
really
to buy
different.
one. Yeah. So next we're going to go on. This one's close to me and is kind of cool. This is the first time I've seen a con as a Kickstarter, but the reason I grabbed it also is because it's for a con that takes place in Grand Island, Nebraska, which is like just down the interstate from me. This one is live until February 7th at 9:41 a.m. I don't know why they didn't start a time, but the rewards that you can get here are just basic things like you can get the passes. They're $5 a day for Saturday or Sunday and $8 for this weekend admission. As well as what is cool here is the art book that they're doing with panels and stories. So basically, the Tri-City Con was established last year to provide a platform for fans of pop culture, science fiction, this is going to be raising money for the Grace Cancer Foundation, and it's a local foundation whose vision is to provide financial and emotional support to cancer patients and their family. And it's the Tri-City stands for Grand Island, Kearney, and Hastings, Nebraska, which none of you guys would consider to be cities, and they aren't really. But beyond these three tiers, there's also 4 sponsor tier ranges from $100 to $1,000 that include things like badges for the weekend, your logo being used in the posters and social pages, flyers, banners, and programs with varying degrees of extra advertisement, including tables, setups, and commissions. But the cool thing about this art book is that you can send it out. All the different artists that are going to be there are going to be including stories and artwork. And you can also, if you aren't going to be able to make it to the con, you can spend an extra $5 and they will all sign it for you. And currently, and I'm assuming this means that they're going to be there whether they were on the first poster or not, but the artists and authors that are in it include Phil Hester, Caleb Addy, Tony Fleeks, Tony Rodriguez, Austin Hamlin, Dylan Jacobson, Travis Bentley, Fred Gorman, Anthony Apodaca, and many more. So I'm kind of excited. I'm ordering that, and I'm going to try to do my best to get out there because it's just, like an 2-hour drive down the interstate from me. Why not?
Why not?
All right.
Why not?
See Tony, see Phil, meet some new people, get that thing signed. It'd be great.
Cool.
Pass around cards, see if we can get some guests. And the last thing, we're going to do a little teaser here. We have got somebody coming back to visit us. Goes by DG Chichester. He is going to be launching Axel's Infernal number 2, the Damnation Delivery Service. And we'll give you more about it as it goes along. It's going to be as awesome as the last one was. And he's waiting to launch, though, until he gets, a good number of people following him. So go follow this Kickstarter so that he can launch his Kickstarter so that we can have this book, because I really want to own it because the first one was really good and I want to see what keeps happening. But Dan's going to be coming on sometime in the future, and we have a date booked for him already. And he's also going to be giving away some free stuff. So go out, subscribe to this, get it. It's going to be fun. And that's all I've got for Kickstarters this week, guys.
Nice. Thank you, Carrie.
Yeah.
Hope I read it out fast enough. There's this and this and this.
Good. All right.
I think it was the exact perfect amount of fastness.
Okay.
Yeah. You moved it along, but it said everything, sold it all. Yeah. No, you did great, Carrie. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much it. So, Leo, should we talk to them about what we have coming up next before we wrap it up?
Sure. Who do we have coming up next, Drew?
Well, hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us Tuesday. We were very grateful that we had Kyle on, and we also had the great Steven Sampson also came on to guest host. Thanks you again, buddy. So we have 2 guests to look forward to. The first one is something new that we're doing this year. We are having our first international guest on our show this Saturday, the 18th. We will be having international artist Will Slyney, or yeah, pronunciation is never good at Splash Pages, coming on. So from Star Wars, Spider-Man 2099, and others, will be coming on to discuss his work and career and other fun stories this Saturday. And then next week, we're so excited because we're going to have Ghost Machine's own Rob Lee is coming back. Almost a year since our last time with him. And just around then, Ghost Machine was just starting. Now they're basically wrapped up their first year, and there's so much more to go. So super freaking exciting. And that's just what we have this week. You guys got to really stay tuned because we got some great other stuff coming up soon.
Yeah, yeah. What you said, Drew. I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. You know me, you know how to find me, but more importantly, follow these awesome people here. And I'm just gonna kick it over to Carrie.
Hey everybody. If you want to find me, go to Carrie Sanders on Facebook. If you see a crow, that is me. You can follow me here. You can find me here with these gents and others on every Tuesday night, and now a couple other scattered around. Look up on the Splash Pages page there. You can find me with the Owlite Network, where we're doing a bunch of different things, and a lot of us have been sick lately, so forgive us that we haven't been quite as active as we usually are, but it's been a rough couple months. And yeah, go find my stuff. You can read my stuff. I'm in some stuff with Steve, so you can be like, oh, if I buy these Morlord from the Mythos books, I get them both, you know? So yeah, go look at my stuff, read it, do stuff, watch things, enjoy yourself.
Nice.
That's all I got. Yeah, go to Steve. He's better.
Thanks for having me on, guys. This was super fun, and it always is. Love hanging with y'all. People out in listening land, thanks to you too. And if you liked hearing me blibbity blab, I am the co-host of the Retro Redoctopus Cephala podcast, and that is, of course, on the Dorkening. We've been on the Dorkening for a very long time. I think 5 or 6 years or something. We are just starting our 7th season, and as of recording right now, you're listening to this, our first episode of season 7 dropped today. We are a nostalgia-based podcast, so we talk about all the kinds of stuff that we loved when we were growing up. And if you're interested in reading my books, I do have a bunch out there. Most recently, I put out a novel called The Unpleasant Mr. Sniff. It is out from Weird House Press, and you can go to weirdhousepress.com and do a little searchy search, and I am there. They put out a lot of books, so the front page is always like whatever is new is pushing the next ones down. So like even though Sniff came out not long ago, a couple months, it's already pushed off the front page. It's crazy. Also, Rough House Publishing is where I live as well. I got lots of stuff there. Mark of the Witchworm's my fantasy book. I got Black Honey and Other Unsavory Things. That was my big collection from a couple years ago. And we have we put out the horror anthology comic Gore Shriek Resurrectus. I have a poster behind me right over yonder right there. That's a little preview. Nobody's actually supposed to see that, but you guys are technically. And we have issue 3 coming out later this year. It's going to be sick. And if you like horror and you're not squeamish like Leo, you might want to pick that one up. So find me online, say hey, and yeah, have a great night.
Woohoo! Mr. Drew.
Hey everybody. God damn it, Leo. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. It's always such a blast being here every Tuesday. I know I look like I'm annoyed by it, but I secretly really do love it, and it shows. If you need to chat with me, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Ghostbusterman1984, as it says on the bottom. I'm on Blue Sky as well, and I'm very busy, but I'll do my best to get back to you within this year.
Wait, you're on what, Drew? Blue Sky?
Blue Sky.
I never heard of it.
I'm sure you haven't, Leo. But yeah, so join us next week. Join us whenever, and keep on keeping on.
Awesome. Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.